Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and hi if you're new here, I'm Jade and it's time for the TBR jar. You'll know how much I love filming these videos, so I have my trusty TBR jar here so that we can pick our 3 choices for May. But quickly, in case you are new here, I only do 3 choices because I have 2 book clubs that I do in person, and so that kind of gives me 5 set reads for my TBR, and there's also a book club I try to follow online as well. So it's kind of 6 if I end up following all of them. So we really need to get this whole TBR down because it is overflowing so badly. So hopefully we get some good picks with this. Honestly, I do overall want to read all of them. I do still have on there the 3 that I wasn't sure if to get rid of in my unhaul video. I'm still undecided on those, but I mean, maybe something will like make me pick them. We'll see. And we have to remember my thrillers are in the cupboard as well. So there is a lot to pick from. But without further ado, let's just get onto it because I know it's just fun seeing the prompts and everything. I do have my proper camera and set up now, but I still feel like it's really hard to angle it where you would see this while I'm sitting on the floor. So I'm still going to balance it on my knee. I just think it's the most practical way I can do it. But now that I have a proper mic that's actually good, it's a lot easier as well because I actually have both hands, so I can actually undo the jar on camera. Voila! Okay. We're going in for the first pick. Let's see what we get. I feel like I just knocked half them out. Did I? Oh, yeah. There's like a few inside each other. Like, let's just like put them back in. We have this purple one in my hand. Historical. So we need a historical fiction type book. Or I mean, I guess it could be, I didn't put fiction on here, so it could be a real historical book too, but I don't think I have any of those on my TBR right now, to be honest. I know there's going to be quite a few choices for this. So let me go through, pick a few out, let's discuss them. I actually know this is going to be really hard for me to decide, actually. Should I take this one to a vote? Should I? I might. Let's just see what I come up with. Okay, you know what? I was like, I'm just going to pick out the first 4 that just really stick out to me. I know they're historical fictions that I really want to read, so let's go through them. The first option is Sweet Francaise by Irene Nemirovsky. I have seen the movie a long time ago, but I don't remember it very well, to be honest, and that's kind of why I picked up the book at the time, because I remember thinking eventually I'm going to want to read it as well because I love the movie so much. I do quite enjoy my World War II historical novels. If you've followed my channel for a time, you're going to know that if I read historical fiction, a lot of them tend to fall into the World War II bracket. Not always, but a lot of the time. So this is about a lady in the war in France. Her husband gets captured and she is left living with her mother-in-law. Eventually the Nazis come in and she falls for the Nazi that sort of gets based with them. So it's a little bit of a forbidden love story within the war, I guess. Our second option is another World War II novel, and that is The Violinist of Auschwitz by Ellie Midwood. This is a book that I picked up not on anyone's recommendation or anything, just because it looked purely interesting to me. So I don't know anyone that's read this or whether it's meant to be good. I don't even know, to be honest, what the Goodreads rating or anything is. So this is about a lady who ends up in Auschwitz, who is a violinist, who then gets sort of hired to play in this kind of like band, I guess you could say, for the camp. They perform for the prisoners, but also for like officers, I think, for Nazi officers. And I think she gains quite a special relationship with the pianist in the band. Next up, we have The Woman by Kristin. This is one that I've wanted to read for so long. I rushed out and kind of bought it ages ago and then just still haven't. It's terrible, but when there's so many books you want to read, it's just overwhelming. This is about a woman who becomes a nurse for the army during Vietnam and sort of her experience in the war. So not World War II this time, but still something I feel like I'll really enjoy. And then we also have The Four Winds by Kristin, which is one that I've had for quite a while now and just not picked up, which I think is set in like the Dust Bowl just after the Wall Street crash has happened. So it's kind of about the Great Depression and poverty. Again, something I think I would quite like. But which one do I pick? Which one? I don't know. A part of me wants to take this one to a vote because I feel like, well, 3 of the 4 I think are very well-known books. But I do think that gives The Violinist of Auschwitz a little bit of an unfair thing because I don't think anyone's going to know it. And like I said, these are all books that I really want to read. But you know what? I'm going to be different. We're going to take Kristin The Women because I always end up reading about World War II, and I've wanted to read this for a long time. I haven't read a Kristin Hannah novel in a while, so I think one of hers is a good choice. So yeah, we're just going to do the women. And let me pop these back and we'll do number 2. But anyway, let's pick number 2 and see what we get. I like to give them a really good mix. Not that I have a clue like where any of the prompts are, but you know. A pink one this time. Let's see what it is. Has a number in the title. I mean, I'm sure I have some because there's so many books here, but I'll have a look. I mean, The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah has 4 in it. So I mean, I guess that's an option, right? Let's see. I don't think I really want to add another Kristin Hannah to my TBR, you know, in the same month. So I probably will ignore that unless it's the only one. We will see. Let me have a look and I'll be back with you. So in my head, I was like, one of my thrillers must have a number in the title. I don't know why. I feel like they often get put in like numbers and crime books, but none of them do. But we do have 2 options that we can pick that aren't Kristin Hannah, as much as I love Kristin Hannah, but I was like, I don't want to add another one right now to the TBR. So the first one I spotted was November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I haven't read any of her books for so long. I've only really read like the really popular ones, to be honest. So, you know, I got this one hearing that it was quite sad, and I quite like a good cry. So I thought this would be a good read, but I must say in my head, I was like, I'll read this in November. So what I think this is about is 2 people that meet like one day before the other one is moving across country, and they kind of fall for each other and they decide to meet up on the same day every year. However, they're obviously kind of living separate lives. They only see each other one day a year. So it's not like they're like in a committed relationship or anything, but I think it's like the complexity of this sort of like long distance attraction, I guess, that's going on. And then I think Fallon, the female character, starts to question whether Ben, the male character, has been telling her the truth. So yeah, that's kind of a rough synopsis for that one. And then our other option is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have still not read an Ashley Poston novel, so this one's really tempting, to be honest, just because I would love to give her books a try. Honestly, the plot for this one sounds quite trippy to me, but I kind of think it's about a girl that falls for a guy, but I think they're 7 years apart somehow. I'll be honest, I don't know much more than that. I don't know if he's a ghost or whether it's just some weird like time portal and they both do exist in like different universes or what. I honestly don't really know. I feel like a lot of people, and probably a lot of you, would have read this. So I'm hoping it's good. I got gifted this actually. So I'm looking forward to trying it. So I think we're just going to go with this one, okay? Like, not because I don't want to read this, but because I definitely just feel like I want to read this in November. And I feel like this will be a very good contrast to the book that we have already chosen so far for May. Okay, so let's pick our third and final prompt for May. I'm kind of hoping that I'll get something that's going to lend to just a very different genre as well, so I can have a really good mix, because I feel like overall I got a really good mix for April. And I think it's nice when it just picks different genres and kind of forces me to cross over, because I am overall a mood reader, and I will say that the seasons affect that. I would call myself even more like a seasonal reader, where I tend to lean towards romances, etc., and lighter books in the hot weather, and then I tend to go for like darker thrillers, etc., in the winter. I would say fantasy kind of stays year round, but again, I'm not necessarily as drawn to it if it's like really sunny, bright weather. I don't know. So let's see what we get as number 3. I feel like I knocked some out. Oh yes, I did. Loads of them. But I've got the one in my hand that we're going to use, so I'll just put those back in. And we've got a blue one this time. Fantasy, romantasy. So yeah, we have a good choice. Definitely a different genre to what we've picked. The trouble with this one is there is a lot to pick from, probably like a third of my TBR. So let me just pick a few that appeal to me, and we'll just go with it, okay? Because we'd be here forever otherwise. So yeah, let me just pick a few. Okay, I'm not going to say cheated this one, because that's not right. These are all fancy romantasies, so I'm not like getting around the prompt. But I guess I added my own other criteria just to help me pick out of the millions that are over there. And I have just automatically picked next books in series that I'm already reading. Mainly because I do really want to start some of my other ones. So I feel like the more I get through, with series that I'm actually in the middle of, it's going to help. So this is a productive choice, okay? That's our justification here. So I picked 3 possibilities of series that I'm currently reading. So one option is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. This is the 3rd and final part, I believe, to a Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. So what I do like about this one is I would be finishing off the series. I have really enjoyed it, and that would allow me to move on to something new sometime very soon. I have also just finished Throne of Glass, by the way, which if you want to hear what I think about it, watch my monthly wrap up next time. So it does mean I will be moving on to Crescent City in May too. Obviously, as this is book 3 in a trilogy, I really can't talk much about the plot, and honestly it doesn't really say much on the back, and I just need to like carry on with the story. But I think this is a good option. Like I said, it will allow me to finish something. However, we also have The Ashes and the Starcursed King by Carissa Broadbent, which is book 2 in the Nightborn duet. Now, there is a lot more books to this series overall, but they're kind of in their own sections from my understanding. So from my understanding, I kind of only have to read the 2 books to kind of get the kind of full thing. The others, I think, are different perspectives and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not really sure, but I think I only really have to read book 2 to like get the full story with the one that I've already read. So it doesn't exactly finish a series because I could dive deeper into it, but it finishes that section, which I think would be quite good because it's been a little while since I read the first book. I think that might have been December. December, maybe January, but I think it was December. So it would be good if I get to this before I forget what's going on, I guess. And I loved the first book, but I have heard mixed things about the second one, and I think that's partly why I've been kind of putting it off a little bit, because I'm a little scared that I'm not gonna like it that much, because I loved the first book, like I really did. So I really want to love this one as well. And then our third option is Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn, which is the second book in the Legendborn cycle. Now, I started the Legendborn cycle, I think over a year ago now, and I still haven't got to book 2. I did genuinely really enjoy the first book. I don't think it was like the most outstanding book for me, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I knew I wanted to continue, which is why I got the second one. But it is just one that I haven't got round to, and I do think I kind of need a bit of a refresher on the first one. I remember it's got all the influence from King Arthur, and I remember kind of the big reveal and what happened at the end. So I feel like that I remember the most important parts to continue, but I think I might want to like take some time, read it like at least a summary or something of the first book. So that leaves us with these 2. Let me know in the comments if you've read these series and which one you prefer, etc. I know it's not going to help my decision now. I'm still going to make the decision now, but you know, it might make me prioritize adding the others in, maybe in May or sometime very soon. But I am super torn. But you know what? We're going to go with this one. We're going to go with The Ashes and the Starcursed King by Carissa Broadbent, because I don't want to forget the first novel. And I only read the second book of this, like, I think last month or something, so it wasn't that long ago. So there we have it. We have our 3 books for our May TBR. Let's do a little quick recap. We have Kristin Hannah, The Women for historical. We have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston for number in the title. And we have The Ashes and the Starcursed King by Carissa Broadbent for fantasy romantasy. So I feel that has given me a very good mix for May to make me still branch out in my genres. There's a few books in mind that I definitely want to try and get read in May. I hope. So please stick around if you want to see what those are. I have a couple of what I think are quite exciting videos planned for May. Hopefully everything works out okay and I managed to do those. It's honestly so much more fun filming now that I have a proper setup. Like, it's more complicated to set up. I'll give it that. Like, it is more complicated and a little bit longer to actually set up, but it's so much easier to film. But anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you here, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye!